Oh.
Genius billionaire playboy film.
Why so serious?
I wish I knew how to quit you.
You talking to me?
Life was like a box of chocolates.
You can't handle the truth.
I see dead people.
Say hello to my little friend.
Here's Johnny.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. I'll be back.
How do you feel? More than I want you in or out of some school. I want to know how you feel when you go to bed at night.
I'm real scared.
I know I believe in you. If I was going through fucking hell, I'd only want one person in the whole goddamn world by my side.
I forgot how it goes.
However you want it to go.
Hello. Yeah, sorry everybody. I'm totally like out of it today. But welcome to Picture This Film Reviews, where we are starting a new set of films that we are reviewing this week. We are doing Mother's Picks. That is going to conveniently coincide with Mother's Day. So since it's going in alphabetical order, we are going to start with me. But let us introduce ourselves first, just in case you don't know who the heck we are. I am Cayla.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Matt.
Welcome to Picture This Film Reviews, where we actually review films. Lengthy, but you will get the gist of it and everything else. So like I had just said, we're doing Mother's Day, Mother's Picks, and I go first, obviously. So my mother's pick was What Dreams May Come, starring Robin Williams. I don't remember what year it was. Was it like 97, I think?
98, I think.
Somewhere around there. And I had touched base last week about, why she had picked this film. She had picked a handful of different things, and one of them was Fever Pitch. And if anybody knows my mother, I am not going to pick Fever Pitch. I will never watch that movie ever again in my life. Anyway, it was a couple other films, but then I was like, Mom, you really got to pick, like, what is your top one if you had to choose? And it was honestly between this and Good Will Hunting. And so she's got a little Robin Williams thing going on, but she said this one was her favorite, and it was because she would like to think this is what heaven is like. And I too, I'm like farthest person from religious, but I too would hope that this is what it would be and would aspire to be. But so I don't go too far into it, we're going to kick it off and see how everybody's week was, starting with whoever wants to go.
Go ahead, Matt.
Short and sweet. I'm having a good week. If I was any better, it would be paradise. So we usually talk about things we watched. I didn't really watch a whole lot, but I did see the new movie called X. It's a horror movie. I know I've been doing a lot of horror lately. I've been on the horror binge pretty much since Halloween, really, if we're being honest. But yeah, it was like a new slasher just called X. It's about these filmmakers who go into this barn to film a adult film, and some weird things start happening at the farm, and that's all. I'll leave it. It was definitely worth checking out when you get the opportunity to.
Was it good? You liked it?
I enjoyed it, yes. It wasn't it wasn't the best movie I ever saw, but it definitely wasn't the worst.
Yeah, I've been seeing, because that girl from Scream is in it, right? The young girl.
Yes.
And then Kid Cudi is in it.
Yes.
And some other people. And I saw like it's by like A24 Productions. Is that who it is? Mm-hmm. Usually they do like off the wall kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. If you're a fan of A24, then you kind of know what you're getting yourself into, and it's right on that same kind of wavelength.
They did I think The Green Knight. Did The Green Knight. Cool. Very nice.
Neat.
Okay, Dan. What did you do this week?
Well, this week celebrated Easter with the family, which is super awesome.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Belated
Happy
Easter. I mean, really, as far as what we watched, I know we've been keeping up, not movie related, but TV series. The Moon Knight series, we've been watching that. I've actually really enjoyed it. I know the internet's kind of divided on it right now, but truthfully, I'm a fan. What else have we watched?
We just got so close to finishing. We had already seen this, but The Family Man with Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah.
We love that movie. So it's like we were watching that and we didn't get a chance to finish it, but that was one of the ones we started watching. I feel like we watched something else, and we always do this. I don't remember.
We should just write it down.
It's like at the beginning of the week we'll watch something.
It was just a really, really busy week, so a lot to keep track of. And I know this is probably going to be in your movie news, but I'm going to steal both your thunders because I don't care. I want so bad, and I'm going to watch The Batman, which is now available on HBO. Which honestly, again, I was talking to Cayla about this. Like, I mean, how would you rate this as far as your top movies? Like, it's probably my #1 movie of all time at this point. It's how serious I am about this movie. So yeah, I'm gonna tear that up probably this Friday. So if you're a fan of the Batman, it's in a little screen near you in your homes. If you got the HBO, check it out. So
it's been nonstop for 2 days now.
Your #1 favorite movie of all time.
I think so. It's moved
That's
up.
intense.
Yeah. I think he's got a little obsession going on today.
And I'm supposed to be the Batman fan.
Exactly. I'm like, dude, like even like higher than Nightmare Before Christmas, and he's like, yep. And I'm like, what?
Jurassic Park?
Exactly. It's the same thing.
I think honestly, like Jurassic Park is always going to be near and dear to my heart, but this might knock that one down too, unfortunately.
Crazy.
Like it's always gonna hold a place, Matt, but this, like, I'm excited to see where this, the Batman goes, like where they end up going with their villains, everything else, especially with, all these top-notch actors getting in all kinds of legal trouble, like who's gonna be in what when, like, but definitely looking forward to whatever it brings, and again, really excited to rewatch this to look for things that I missed in the theater. So,
and then rewatch, and it'll be never ending.
Cayla ever goes out with friends, guess what? The Batman time.
Yeah, I think our son even wants to watch it, and I'm like, no. He's like, Daddy, let's watch Batman. They thought they were going to watch Batman tonight. He was ready to go downstairs and everything. It's like, no, not tonight. But anyway, so that wraps up everybody's stuff for the week. I'm sorry, like if I'm screaming, let me know.
You're good.
Okay.
You're perfectly great.
So we're gonna kick it back to the review, but we are actually, no, that's not right.
The news.
Ooh, I forgot about the news. So we are heading to Matt now, who is going to give us the weekly news, the entertainment news of the world. Hit us, Matt.
I am the new news guy, everyone. And I guess I should kick it off with what Dan already mentioned. The Batman is now on HBO Max to stream free if you are a subscriber to that service. And if you're not, and you don't want to pay $14.99 a month, because let's be honest, that's kind of steep, but it's for the quality content that's on there. It's excellent price. But it's also available to purchase digitally on Vudu and Amazon Prime and anywhere you can purchase it digitally. It's not available physically yet, but in the digital world, it's out. So go watch it.
Dan's gonna wait, get that hard copy, baby.
In other news, back to the horror news, Orphan 2 has been confirmed to be released, not filmed, released this August. August 2022, we'll see the release of Orphan 2, starring original cast member. I don't know her name. I should have looked it up. But it's a prequel from what I understand, because spoilers, if you haven't seen the first Orphan, she dies. So, and of course, that's the movie where the little girl actually isn't the little girl. Again, spoilers.
Oh my God, how many years have passed since the original Orphan?
I think it was 09. 09 is when it came out. So we're talking more than 10 years. We're talking 19, 20, 21, 22, 13 years, right?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, that movie had a good twist.
It did. 'Cause no one saw that coming. Well, because she was a real little girl,
right?
She wasn't like an adult actress, so it wasn't like she kind of looks like an adult.
But now
Now she does kind of look like an adult, but she's supposed to be playing before that, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of
Well,
crazy.
hopefully it works out for him.
We'll see, and I'll be sure to let you know because I'll see.
Yeah.
The new trailer for the film, for the miniseries Candy, dropped. The trailer, sorry, I'm all over the place. The trailer dropped for Candy. It is the Jessica Biel starring miniseries based on a true story of a housewife who commits murder.
Yeah, I saw that. She looks crazy in that thing.
I'm a Jessica Biel fan.
Yeah.
She is my future wife as soon as she and Justin Timberlake are done. Just waiting for that day to happen. So I'm there for that.
It does look good.
I usually try not to, and I would often tell our last news guy, who shall remain nameless, not to report on like negative personal things. But I felt that because it did involve, it did affect a film. Frank Langella, I guess I'm saying his last name right. You've seen his face 100 times.
Yeah, the dude that was in Captain America Winter Soldier. He was like the Hydra dude in the elevator that beat the guy up. Beat him up?
No, not him.
Oh.
Older guy. He's like 80 something years old.
Oh, dang. Well, okay. Sorry.
You've seen him before though. He was set to star in the fall of House of Usher for Netflix. Well, he's under investigation for misconduct and has been dropped from that film. So he will no longer be appearing in the House of Usher. Big news for us Bat fans, us original Bat fans, a full body outfit of the Michael Keaton costume, plus Keaton in costume, I guess I should say. Michael Keaton in costume, full body reveal for the first time for the, I guess it'll be, I was going to say the Flash, but I guess it'll be the Batgirl or whatever that we see him in now first, was released. And it's very much a combination of the two movies that he did, Batman and Batman Returns. The body is more like Batman Returns and the cowl is more like the first original Batman. So it's a decent look. I already did that. By this point, it's already happened. James Bond is now on Amazon Prime. Every single Bond film, including No Time to Die, is now available on Prime.
Dang, that was fast.
And then reportedly, Warner Brothers is considering overhauling DC's film and TV division at the request of the company's new CEO. It is said that he wants more films like The Batman and Joker and less films like Justice League and Batman versus Superman. I think they're trying to do more standalone films, which is what DC has always been good at, versus a multiverse, or not a multiverse, but a universe connected thing. I think this is Matt talking now. I think DC saw what Marvel was doing, but they were just too late in the game, and they went after it and tried to do it make up as quickly as they could, and it just backfired all in their faces. And it's still continuing to backfire, really. I mean, if you think about it.
If you were a fan of any of their upcoming films, though, from what I understand, they are rolling forward to what they already had slated coming up. Like they weren't going to nix those, but after that, they are probably going to put a halt to that kind of thing, which I'm in complete agreement with you. I think that, DC has done a wonderful job on their standalone films. Honestly, a lot more impactful. Unless they get somebody with clear vision and direction, I think that's one thing that DC kind of needs to stay away from, is the multiverse or the DC universe and that capacity. But yes, sir.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you think about it, back in the day, granted, there wasn't an MCU back in the day, but if you think back in the day, there was Marvel movies and DC was king.
Yeah.
In comics and in film. I mean, there was not a bad, really, DC movie. Now they're kind of all bad, or at least and it's kind of the opposite. But I think, but when they do that, they've proven that they can do it because they did Joker, they did the Batman. When they do their standalone things, they are a success. So we'll see what they decide to do and where that takes them. We were talking before we hit record. The new Thor trailer dropped, everybody. Thor Love and Thunder has a lot of people talking. I watched it. What did you guys think of the trailer?
I have a little bit of a controversial kind of thing. I really wasn't a huge fan of like Ragnarok. I like, it was just a different approach for me, I guess. And like, I don't know. I was really excited to see that he's teaming up with the Guardians. I'm glad the Guardians are going to be in this. I always love the Guardians dynamic, even though it's like, of course, changed up at this point. I think there's going to be so many cool things, and I think it can go in so many different directions. Loved Lady Thor. That was a nice little ending to that trailer, which Natalie Portman, I'm excited because she's awesome. So I don't know. I feel like I was like, I don't like something, but then I was like, I don't know. I mean, it looks, I mean, of course, I mean, all Marvel movies, you watch the trailer and they do such a good job at editing the trailer. You can't even tell like what's going to be where and wherever, but it looks fantastic. And it's coming out so soon.
Yeah, what was the July 8th? Yes.
Yeah, so
what was the
soon.
release date?
Dang. Because I thought it was pushed back.
Well, I know we were watching some stuff about the trailer, and a couple things really stand out to you are that, it's kind of the story of Thor, how he's kind of lost his way. He's lost a lot of his loved ones, people that he has confidants, people in the Avengers that he was close to, gone. And now he's really just trying to find his own identity. At one point, it seems like he's trying to take a little bit from Star-Lord, Chris Pratt's character. He's wearing like his shirt, but it's like sleeveless, cut off, everything else. A couple shirts and things there. It looked like it is going to draw more on the mythology or the comic book mythos a little bit. I know we're looking at the introduction, like you said, Lady Thor, which I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And hopefully, because I know the rest of the Avengers storylines are coming to a close, see how this kind of takes it closer to that. We know it's not going to be the end for his character because we do expect to see him in the new Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Which will be coming out. I know that was a rumor at first, but I think that's been pretty much confirmed at this point. Yeah. So really super excited to see that. And again, they're coming off of the Morbius movie, which divided a lot of audience. Kind of interested to see how the next Marvel installment, pushes the franchise and which direction they go with it.
Well, I feel like Morbius, just like the whole DC thing, I mean, because Morbius is like Sony.
Right.
That is its own thing. And I know they're trying to kind of like mix it together to make it like, bring in more of the audiences. I'm so sorry. I really am excited for this phase 4 of Marvel and where they're headed, because even though we're saying goodbye to some of the vital Avengers and Marvel characters, I mean, you're getting, I don't know, it's like exciting every time there's a Marvel movie like this because it broadens your horizons.
It's like starting over.
Yeah, and you get to see that universe a little more, and you get, cooler things that come along each time.
That's the thing. Like, Marvel's not a stranger to putting plot devices and things into films to build onto it later.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like how they started with Iron Man and they sprinkled in a little bit here and there, and then they built like a whole MCU with what they had there. It's just going to be interesting to see what they take from all these films and what we didn't notice or what we didn't catch in these kind of reviews and things, and what they actually put together from that, because they're going to be they're building and have built things for the next phase, and it's here in front of us, and it's just going to be interesting to see where that comes in. But we get to see a lot of cool characters like Valkyrie step back up. Looks like she's in New Asgard doing her thing, talking to like political leaders about energy. There's a lot of him at one point like looking like at a battle, setting his new hammer down and walking away. Like just curious to see what the movie's going to play out as.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a Minecraft movie, guys. It's a thing. It's a thing. And Jason Momoa is set to star.
Like as Steve?
I'm not sure who. That's not been reported, but Jason Momoa is in talks to star in Warner Brothers' new Minecraft film.
Oh my gosh. I wonder if it's going to be like Legos, like how Legos is.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's no report if it's animated or if it's live action, but it's
Well, that'd be so weird.
Momoa. Oh God,
Momoa
Momoa Mamas is back in action this time for some Minecraft. It was all but given, but Paramount Plus has officially confirmed that Sonic 3 is happening. No word on if Jim Carrey will return after his "I may be retiring" thing. But the third film is definitely happening.
Sweet.
So if you're a fan of Sonic, there you go. You get one more. And then lastly, and this was a thing I don't normally would report on or encourage others to report on because it's kind of like a personal thing. But I think he's when I say friend of the show, he's a person on the show that I think we all like. Keanu Reeves has proposed to his girlfriend of 4 years, Alexandra Grant, and they are now engaged. So congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Yay. That's awesome. I'm so happy.
And that's all I got for the news, everybody.
I wanna put this out there. So this is the 19th. So this is April 19th. So a little over 2 weeks until the premiere of Doctor Strange. I'm sorry, just gotta put it out there. Multiverse? Yes, I was about to say I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, yes, I'm super excited.
Multiverse of Madness.
Yes, thank you. I can't talk today, but I'm so excited. That's got to be some kind of like a little bit of news. I don't know. It's exciting. Did you get your tickets, Matt?
No,
Oh.
no, it's one that I'll probably just wait a day or so and then go. Like, probably not first day for me, but
Ooh, yeah.
I fully intend to see it in the theater. Just I'll wait
Yeah,
a couple days, unless I can get in day one, then I'll be there. But I'll probably look and see, and I'm sure it'll be packed. And if it is, then I'll wait.
Well, I think that. Oh no, we forgot one little thing actually. Jerry's mother on Seinfeld, from Seinfeld, she had passed away. I don't know her name. I'm so sorry, R.I.P. But she had passed away literally within the week of the other mother on Seinfeld passing away.
As I was going to say, didn't we already report somebody on Seinfeld?
Yeah. So like both of the mothers, George's mother and Jerry's mother, had passed away. Crazy. She was 90.
I'm Googling right now so I can get a name. Is it Liz Sheridan?
Maybe.
Yes, Liz Sheridan, 93 years old, has passed away. Best known for her role in Seinfeld. So condolences.
Yes, indeed.
See, we got you. You thought we were going on a happy note with Keanu Reeves getting married, but no.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can we edit that and like make it like Keanu Reeves? But yeah, but that is still awesome. I'm happy for him. He deserves it. Okay. Anyway, you guys, that was a very long news segment, but that was good because we got some good stuff out.
No, you got a lot of good stuff there,
Yeah.
Matt. Good job. Good job.
It was a busy week.
Yes, it was. So now we are going to actually roll into the movie, which is What Dreams May Come, starring the always awesome Robin Williams. But we are going to head it to stats because Dan is going to give us the stats, which is the rundown of what the users liked, what the critics liked, if they liked it, and all that jazz. So Dan, please.
Yep. So the movie that we're talking about, you guys both nailed it at the start of this episode. Release date was October 2nd, 1998. This was filmed all over the place. Venezuela, a lot of national parks, cool stuff. It had a budget of $85 million estimated, grossed $55,382,000 in the US and Canada. And then worldwide, again, I guess it was only released in the US and Canada, $55,382,000. So a pretty big hit there, a loss of $30 million on the film. Had a runtime of 1 hour and 53 minutes. So getting to the length of episode that might find, a little uncomfortable, but not too bad in the theater. I told you I'm going to add that every time now we talk.
That. I do.
As far as our storyline goes, so we join the main character played by our lost and Sorry, I lost my notes here. Robin Williams. Anyways, that wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking for my stats. I'm sorry. So it's played by Robin Williams as Chris Nielsen. He meets his wife Annie in a trip in another country. They fall in love. In fact, they become soulmates. And unfortunately for them, tragedy strikes when both of their children are taken from them at an early age in a car accident. Neither of the parents were involved in. So the two found support in each other and love. And unfortunately, one night when Annie was setting up a display at a museum, she asks her husband to stop by and pick up some pictures or paintings for her. He says that he will. He's driving the car. They hit a tunnel. As he goes into the tunnel, unfortunately, there's a car accident in front of him. He gets out to assist because he is a doctor. And in the course of that, another car flips and hits him and unfortunately takes him from the earth as well, leaving Annie by herself as the sole survivor of the family. So pretty much everybody she knows and loves is gone. We're introduced to a heaven-esque afterlife where he lives and breathes in his wife's paintings, which ultimately expands more as he's there, the longer that his wife is painting, and the more that he creates himself due to the connection that they have. He is reintroduced to his lost children, though we don't know it at the time when they are reintroduced. Ultimately, yes, I'm spoiling the crap out of this movie. Ultimately, the story progresses. I better stop here so everybody has a chance to talk on this. But personally,
just take us through all the way to the credits. Just go all the way.
Yes,
I think it was going there.
But overall, this movie got a 53% on Rotten Tomatoes, and this is what I was looking for earlier. So I am sorry that I stopped at Robin Williams. 7 out of 10 on IMDb, a 44% out of Metacritic. The audience rating on Google gave it a 4.6 out of 5 stars for 207 ratings. So overall, the critics not too big a fan of this, but general audience score looking on the higher end of this as a film they did enjoy. So
I think it did win an Academy Award for like best animated sequence or something like that. So I think it is an Academy awarded Academy. I don't know the word. An Academy Award winner. That's the sequence of words I'm looking for. I'm pretty sure it did win. It should show you on IMDb like what the awards are.
Oops, I just saw it. It got Blockbuster Entertainment Award, Favorite Supporting Actor in a Drama and Romance.
Oh, that's what, for Best Visual. So for Best Visual Effects in 1999, it won an Academy Award for.
Nice.
So still, that is awesome.
Yeah.
So is that all your stats? I'm so sorry.
That's all I'm going to say as far as stats, because instead of going to stats, I was just going story. So
yeah,
go for it.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Dan, for all those stats. I'm going to start it off. I had already talked about why this was picked, and what my mother thought, what my initial thoughts were on it. I'm actually really surprised to see that the critics didn't like. I'm sort of surprised that the critics didn't see it as well as like the audience loved it. So it looks like the audience loved it, but critics weren't so happy with it, I guess. So heading into this movie, the first hour for me is great. I've seen this movie before. We touched on Robin Williams before, which I'll probably say it again like 500 times in my little thing. So I apologize in advance. For me, at least, Robin Williams, you can't go wrong. I love Robin Williams. And I was talking to Dan while we were watching this, and I might get a little sentimental because this movie is a crying movie. If you did not cry during this movie or have any type of tears in your eyes, I don't think you have emotion, honestly.
I didn't cry.
Yes, you did. He teared up. He teared up. He looked at me, he said, "Are you crying?" And I said, "I am."
It didn't
crying.
happen. Okay,
Anyway, it did. But anyway, so this is a crying type of movie. So this first half of this movie, I really enjoyed the direction of it. And I mean, saying that I enjoyed it, it was emotional, but it was beautiful. And having a family, you can understand and empathize with, and understand how those events can be so tragic. And then it kind of turns into where he's going on this journey to kind of save his wife, get some kind of redemption for her. And that's what the tracker, and I didn't care for like the tracker term too much. I felt like it should have been like, oh, there's someone here to help navigate us or guide us. Like a guide would have been better. I didn't really care for the tracker part. I think that's just like me being like, about it. I don't really like that whole, because I feel like that turns it into something that it was something different than what it initially was. So it kind of is like a turning point in a movie that makes it, I don't know, I'm trying to like get my words together. Sorry. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. I'm sorry. I get like this every week and I'm like, and then I watch myself and I'm like going like 1,000 miles an hour.
Enjoy the show.
And literally I'm like telling myself as I'm watching this, like, Cayla, shut up. I'm like, Dan, just tell me to shut up. Like, seriously, tell me to shut up. And I'm going to do this next week when I watch this freaking episode, I swear. And I'm sorry, Matt. Anyway, let me try to get my thoughts together. I always do this. Okay, I'm just going to go in with the Robin Williams thing. I love Robin Williams. So even though I personally, of course, did not know Robin Williams, he was such a vital and important part of me growing up, my childhood. He was in favorite movies. He was in every single thing as a child and a teenager that I grew up with. So I feel like I knew him. I mean, he is like part of my life. So watching this movie and thinking about him was really sad, because he dealt with a lot of things, and this movie deals with suicide. And it's sad putting those two together because it's tragic. And that's the sad thing about this. I mean, it's beautiful. There's these tortured souls, and it just makes me like wish I could have hugged him, and held him a little tighter, but he will always hold this special place, and I can't watch anything and not like it because he has this charismatic, fun, loving, but sad type of thing going on that he does so well. And that's what makes him so great. And that's honestly, in my mind, what makes him one of the greatest of all time to have ever lived. And I said this to Dan, I don't even think there's any type of person that has even came close to the enigma that was Robin Williams. And I think that's special. And like I said, it's sad to watch this, and it was sad to watch RV, but it was also happy because you get to see that smile that lights up his whole face in my life. I won't go too much more into detail about Robin Williams. So as far as the movie goes, I love the first half. I think it's tragic, but it's beautiful. I love what they do, the whole concept of, that her painting being his heaven. And I've never really seen anything like on screen like that, of him walking through the painting and it going everywhere. But watching it this time, we had never noticed that the paint only gets on Robin Williams' character, on Chris. It never gets on Arthur's character. It doesn't, which is like, wow. So maybe it's just like, wow, these little things, when you watch it, you never pick up until you watch it again. I really liked Cuba Gooding Jr. in this. He brings something to the screen too that's like beautiful, that he plays off of Robin Williams. And there's this part where he opens up the wall, like Cuba Gooding Jr., Arthur, I think his name is, right? He opens up the wall and shows him that there's this whole other universe. There's more to explore than just these four walls. And they grab this coffee cup. And before, Robin Williams, it just like mashes together, right? It's just like clay, paint, whatever. But now he's exploring more. So it's actually a tangible item. It's not falling apart. And he starts drinking it. And then they say something and he's like, oh, it needs milk. And then he looks back at Cuba Gooding Jr. And I don't know if that part is improvised, but if you just look at between the two of them going back and forth, it's actually a beautiful moment because it feels so natural. So that's one of the parts I love in it. what else? I can't. I'm trying to think. Sad. Okay, so getting to, I'm just going to fast forward to the end. So there's this part in it where they're talking about reincarnation, and that they can live out their lives, what have you. So that is my only, just like my biggest about this movie is I don't like the fact that they choose to get reincarnated. I feel like that kind of spoils the whole journey, like why they went through this, why Robin Williams' character went through this whole thing, you know, to save the love of his life, you know. It just feel like that's like cheating at the end. I felt so cheated. And I get it's supposed to bring it full circle. They meet at this little boat ramp, what have you, but I just didn't seem like it didn't seem fair to me to end on that note. I would have rather have seen them through all of that after he literally walked through hell for this lady, that they would be able to enjoy their time with their children who they've lost. Anyway, that's my biggest gripe with it. I didn't care for that part. I really enjoyed this movie. I've seen it before, but it's one of those beautiful, tragic, like I said, but so well done. I'm going to give this, I think, a 7.5. I really liked it. It was really good. Robin Williams is fantastic as always. And also, I'm sorry. I feel like this is so, I'm sorry, ma'am. I know you got things to do. I'm so sorry. I feel like this is such an underrated role for Robin Williams. I don't feel like it gets talked about enough. Because it really doesn't. When you think of Robin Williams's roles, you're thinking Good Will Hunting, or what else am I thinking of? Other big things.
Doubtfire, Hook.
Yes, exactly.
Patch
And
Adams.
I don't feel like this gets enough credit because I feel like he should have won something. I saw the tragedy, I saw the happiness, I saw the love in his eyes. I saw it. And I'm sad that it never corresponded, or it never got him, you know, the much needed recognition and love for this as he deserved. Okay, whoever wants to go next.
Matt, I know you
Indulge.
said that you normally have to go last, so I'm going to give it to you.
Oh, okay. I hadn't seen this in a very, very, very long time. Last time I watched this, I know for a fact I was a teenager. And I probably before 19, but just for grins and giggles, let's say 19, which was 14 years ago. So that's how long it's been, at least, since I've seen this, up until the other day. And I didn't remember. I thought I remembered this movie in my head. Oh yeah, I've seen that. I remember what that's about. No, I didn't remember hardly anything. There's so much of it that I didn't remember. It was almost like watching a brand new movie, like this undiscovered thing that I knew existed but never watched, even though I had. I didn't remember the kids dying in this. Like, I knew that he died, and I had forgotten but quickly remembered that she died. But I completely forgot. I completely forgot they even had kids. And then when they introduced the kids in the beginning, I was like, oh, they got kids. Still didn't see their death coming. I was like, when did that happen? Like, I don't remember that ever happening before. But again, at least 14 years. So in 14 years, things get a little fuzzy. As Cayla said, this was a beautiful movie, both in story and in imagery. It was beautiful to look at. I too would hope that heaven is something to this effect, in that it's what you want it to be. He wanted it to be his wife's paintings because that's what he loved. So, you know, I would hope that I don't hope that we all die and go into a painting, but I hope that, you know, it's what we all want it to be. It's our own personal heaven. And we can travel through other parts of heaven to get to these other people, our other loved ones. this whole movie, I was either smiling or crying. There was rarely any in between. I actually cried kind of sad, kind of I miss you tears. The part where it's kind of toward the beginning where he's like runs. Remember, he like jumps off the cliff and then like kind of falls and then runs to the tree, and he gets to the tree and he screams, Annie. And then he starts smiling and laughing, and when the camera zooms in on that, his grin and his smile is that classic iconic Robin Williams. Well, even for this movie, it's an iconic shot, but that classic Robin Williams smile, I started to tear up because I was like, that's what I miss. And I think it goes back to when we did RV a few weeks back. I think you had said, Cayla, that you saw him smile in that, but it wasn't genuine. Whereas this felt like that was genuine. That was Robin Williams at his best. This movie is Robin Williams at his best. It's funny, but it's also heartwarming and tragic. A couple things I caught. This one I didn't catch. It was pointed out as I was looking through, and I thought I should mention it. Sorry, I wasn't prepared. When Christmas was dawn comes up, everyone's standing on the water. Okay, so when Chris first meets, Chris being Robin Williams, meets Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character, and he says, the last time you saw me, I was 63, stretched out in a cardiac ward. Who wants to be 63 throughout eternity? Well, Robin Williams was 63 years old when he passed away. So that was a little tidbit note that I thought, oh, that's sad. And then I just want to touch one other thing, because I don't think there's too much more I can say. I haven't said much, but at the very end, he says, he being Williams again, says a quote that I really loved. It says, the stuff some folks call impossible is just the stuff they haven't seen. And I wrote it down, and I really, really like that. This movie I watched when I was a kid. I watched when I was a teenager, but I loved it so much more now. I give it an 8 out of 10.
Sweet. Alrighty, guys. So my take on this film. There were a lot of moments in this film that reminded me of Robin Williams' other works. When he was playing a child doctor, it reminded me a lot of Patch Adams, which we talked about earlier. He was hopping around, making people laugh. I feel like that's kind of iconic to how Robin Williams would act, probably on the set, behind the camera, off the camera, whatever. I also feel like the moment when he's having to imagine what's in the cup and it tastes like paint, it reminded me a heck of a lot of Hook, when he's imagining the food that they eat, and especially like with the paint and everything else that was around him. I don't know, man. I feel like people just wanted to cover Robin Williams in paint when they had him in the movies. So I'm going to say this, and this is probably going to catch me a little bit of flack from the two people here. I do not believe that it needed the children's death in this movie to still have the same effect that it did.
I agree.
I feel like that they didn't build the background as much with the children characters, and really his journey was more about seeking his wife than it was his children. Like the whole time he's in this movie, he's introduced to his children, eventually comes to terms that the people that he met that were his guides are actually his deceased children in other forms. But even knowing that, and knowing that he could or might not be returned to them, he chose his wife, to go after his wife, to pursue to the depths of hell. And then again, as Cayla stated at the end of the movie, they chose again to leave their children to be reborn and relive their romance. Which my question, and this is like, movies have plot holes, but if they're reborn as different people when they pass away, would they then remember what their lives were before, or would they remember the lives that they lived the second time? But it just felt that the time they had with their children and the afterlife was very brief. I did love the aesthetics. I thought that the movie was beautifully done. I feel like the relationship or the chemistry between Robin Williams and Annie's character was so strong. I felt that they did really well together. Like I would have believed 100% they were husband and wife. The grief that it takes you through, I agree with Cayla. Like, this thing takes you from top to bottom. And as you said, Matt, like, there's not a lot of points that you're not going to have some kind of emotional response, whether you're, cracking up or if you're crying your eyeballs off. That being said, I liked how the movie drew a lot. Like, to me, I liked reading like Dante's Inferno, the Divine Comedy. There were some pieces of that here. I feel like Cayla said, the first half of the movie was very light, and then it took you to a very dark place and tried to, drive you there. There were some parts of that that I didn't necessarily like. As far as, like, I think when they had the tracker, just even the point of that, it would have been nice, I think, like Cayla said, if he just was reunited with somebody that he knew. But I think the whole piece was to keep you guessing that Cuba Gooding Jr. wasn't in fact his mentor, but was in fact his son, and they try to hide that a little bit longer through that, because at the end he did reveal who he was, and the fact that he was a child psychiatrist before he was a doctor that trained Williams. But overall, I still like this movie. Very hard watch. I could understand why critics didn't 100% like it, but I would probably put this movie, I'd agree with Cayla, 7.5 for me. Overall, I would watch it again. I agree with you both. I feel like the smiles that he had in this were genuine, and unlike RV, where it really felt like he phoned in his performance, he was 100% here for this, and I honestly think that this film mattered to him. I'd have to do a little bit more research to see what he kind of thought, behind the scenes, but definitely felt that he had an emotional connection with this. So thank you, Miss Jude, for picking this as your favorite movie, and definitely enjoyed the watch.
Very good. Anybody want to add anything else in?
I just like to say, just to add to your point, I agree the ending, and I didn't even really realize, I guess I did, but I didn't realize that that's what was happening. There was reincarnation. But I mean, I guess I did, because I know that those two children in the end were supposed to be them, but it just for some whatever reason didn't register that, oh, they've been reincarnated. But I think it should have, I mean, the happier ending was he got her out of hell and they're all in heaven together. But I would have been even okay with the ending being him going to hell, seeing her, and then choosing to stay. If you recall, he walks out and then walks back in and shuts the door, and he says he's going to stay with her. I would have been okay with that movie ending there. Like, and not to make it shorter, not because it was too long, but because I felt like that ending would have worked too. Like, that would have told a story that they were soulmates, and that they were going to stick together forever, no matter what, even if he had to leave heaven and go to hell to be with her. So either ending, heaven or hell, I think would have worked. But I agree, the reincarnation thing does kind of like just throw it off and make it go, oh, okay.
That's the only reason I gave it a 7.5, because I don't know if they spent, they could have spent 100 years, because like they said, a lifetime in the real world. Yeah, right. I don't know how much time they spent there before they decided to do this. It's kind of like, have you ever watched The Good Place? Have you ever watched that show?
Mm-mm.
It kind of reminded me of that. Like, you love someone so much. I don't know. Like, I mean, like, that part really just, each time I watch it, just like, why would you do that? Why did you choose to do that? I don't understand.
That's the thing too. It plays out more like a love story, fighting, to regain what you've lost, and then just like sprinkled with, again, the kids. To me, I think that's what really took it out of me. Is like, it's a 1-2 punch. Like, not only did you kill the child or the children, but you ended up killing him, and then you left her, and then she committed suicide. It just straight nosedives, and I feel like it would have just played out better. And even the ending, I feel like could have been forgivable for, to your point, Matt, for the reincarnation piece. If the children hadn't been involved, because then they wouldn't really have had the reason to stay
They wouldn't be
behind.
tethered.
And then it would have been like, okay, we'll relive our romance and, and get an ending that we deserve because our life was so tragic before. But I guess it takes a tragedy out of it. The children weren't part of it.
But here's the thing. If they wanted to pursue that life of, reliving their romance without tragedy,
what would have stopped them from doing it there?
No, what was the point of them going through this tragedy? Had they not lived a life already prior to this? Is this their first life? Who said they wouldn't have died when they got reincarnated? See, to me, it leaves these open-ended questions, and I'm not necessarily against that, but in this type of movie, I don't want this movie to end with me questioning why you're ending it this way or what's beyond that ending, because it kind of tampers with the whole of it. There was something else I was going to say, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, there was this part which we really didn't touch on, that when Chris visits Annie in one of the memories, that she was admitted to a psych ward because she tried to kill herself after her kids died. And I don't remember the quote, unfortunately, but there was something that Chris said to her that kind of snapped her back into reality. And they repeated this quote 2 or 3 times. And it was something like, oh my God, what was it? Love, oh my God. Oh my God, I can't remember what it was. Something love, oh my God, it's all not always easy or something. Do you remember what I'm talking about? I'm talking about something. Oh my gosh, somebody distract this while I'm trying to look up what this thing was. Anyway, the quote itself was, it to me, Matt, it's one of those quotes you hear in a movie and a music and what have you, and it really resonates with you, and and that's what you remember from it. And that quote was just I do these things daily affirmations where it's like a mantra for the day, and you tell yourself this and you put it forward, you put it into motion, and that's what it becomes. And that's kind of it was the perfect daily affirmation. I was just wow, that's beautiful. That's all I wanted to add to this, but it was he's trying to look it up, but it was really nice. I don't know, that there's a lot of different things you can touch on in this kind of movie where you could literally go on forever. But I don't know, it was beautiful. Thank you to my mom for recommending this, because when she had said it, I was so surprised, because I didn't expect that out of her, because usually, like I said, she have you ever seen Fever Pitch, Matt? Oh my gosh, don't waste your time. She loves that movie. She loves Jimmy Fallon for whatever freaking reason. If Mom, you're watching this, anyway, or it was About a Boy. Have you ever seen About a Boy with Hugh? Oh my God.
I have seen that, yes.
When we were younger, it was between those two movies that we would watch back to back to back to back. But I'm glad she picked this. This was a great pick. It's sad, but it was such a great pick. I would have been happy with Good Will Hunting too, because I love that movie too. But anyway, I think that wraps up our lengthy video here. Good Lord. Yeah, we've been rolling and nonstop talking. If I remember that quote, I will talk about it next week. But okay, so 7.5, Matt, 8. Okay, well, that wraps that up. But we are going to go to Mr. Dan Lane, who is going to share with us his mother's pick for next week, and where you may be able to find this thing. Do you know?
I'm sure you do.
I do. Yeah. At least I did. I assume it's still there.
Yes. I don't know.
So with my mother's pick, it is not one that I had to text her or to ask her what her pick was going to be, because I've grown up with this movie and I've probably seen it. I would not be kidding if I said hundreds of times. She still watches it 3 or 4 times a year. She is now showing it to my children, passing on the tradition of this movie, which I'll give her credit. This is one of those movies, like one of 100 movies that you have to watch, or 1,000 movies you have to watch before you die. And it's very iconic. It changed, media, film, and everything forever. So to give it some props. But that movie is Wizard of Oz, the original. So looking forward to watching that with you, with Dorothy and the Cowardly Lion and Mr. Scarecrow and the Tin Man. And it is on HBO Max currently. So if you needed another reason other than the Batman to hop on HBO Max, now you have it. Come watch this movie with us.
If you don't have HBO Max, what are you doing with your life at this point? I mean, the price is steep, but God, they have everything on there.
Yes, it's good. TV shows, movies, it's all good.
It's all good. We're not being endorsed by HBO Max, but we could be. HBO, if you're listening to this, come on.
I would be cool with a free subscription.
Yeah,
that's
true.
what I'm saying.
Okay, so we should write them.
Yeah, we should.
Next week's episode is sponsored by HBO Max.
You know, right? And we have like all the HBO Max.
Use the promo code Picture This and get 10% off your first month.
Yeah,
ooh, that'd be cool. We should do that. Anyway, if you're listening, HBO Max people, help us out. Anyway, so Wizard of Oz, that is our next pick. Rolling into next Tuesday. But I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Everybody for watching the movie. And everyone who's liked, commented, shared, followed us, has reached out to us. Logan, you're still the best wherever you are. Anyway, I'm going to hand this over to Matt because Matt usually wraps up this show for us. So
wait, before you give him his iconic thing, please remember to follow us on Instagram at Picture This Film Reviews, not movie reviews, and also at Picture This Film Reviews on Facebook. So, and our YouTube channel, what's our YouTube channel, Matt?
YouTube.com/Studio29Films.
All right, now take it away, Mr. Matt.
All right, everybody watch The Wizard of Oz on HBO Max. Be sure to tune in next week. I think it'll be a nice change of pace. I'm looking forward to this. It'll be different than what we've done recently. Everybody have a great week, and of course, love one another.
Bye.